I will show you how well Simon Anthony did when he solved Patto Patto by Shye in his original video called A Sudoku with 36 given digits. I'll include paused video and what-if moments to look at alternate solve paths. Click on the link below if you want to try the puzzle yourself. And with that, it's solving time. Okay, first Simon did ones in block 5, and then he did some twos up here in block 4, and also block 3. And some twos in block 2. And what Simon's doing is called Snyder notation, where you only see 2 of an individual candidate in a particular block. And he started with the ones and worked with the twos, and he really didn't see exactly where to go with this, so he's just doing the Snyder notation. Very common for this phase. After that, he started working on the threes. He knows there's only 2 spots for a 3 here in block 3, because you see there's a 3 here in column 7, column 9, and across row 3. Then he found some 3s in block 2, and then didn't see anything with the 4s because there's really only one given 4. So then he went to the 5s and found some 5s in block 6. And then when Simon went to the 6s, he was able to solve for a 6. You'll notice there's a 6 right here in columns 5 and 6 in rows 7 and 9. So there's only one place left for a 6 here in block 8. So he solved that, row 8, column 4. Then he proceeded around and started filling in 6s. So you saw there's only 2 spaces for a 6 in block 1 and 2 places for a 6 in block 6. And then didn't see anything with the 7. Same thing. There's only one given 7 right there. There's only one given 1. There's not much in the 1, 4, and 7 as far as givens go. And we'll get to that a little bit later in the video. Moved on to the 8s. Notice there's only 2 places for an 8 in block 1. Didn't see anything else with the 8s. Moved on to the 9s. And so only 2 places for a 9 in block 8, right? Because you have this 9 here in column 4 and 5. Only 2 spots for a 9. At this point, you notice that the 2 and the 9, and then you have the 2s and 9s here, and columns 1 and 2 in row 5 mix for a naked pair of 2 and 9 here in block 4. And that's very handy. Once you have this naked pair, then it's going to restrict the candidates along column 3 and within block 4. He started to then go down column 3, but he missed a chance to actually solve for another candidate. And so this brings us up to our first pause the video moment. Pause the video and see if you can solve for a 5 in this grid while I give you a few seconds. Okay, congratulations if you spot it. Some of the viewers pointed out in the video earlier that now that you have this 2-9 naked pair right here, a 5 comes across row 5 and it comes down column 1. So that means there's a 5 here and a 5 here. So this is now a pointing pair of 5. So 5, pointing pair of 5s. 5 can't be in either of these 2 spots. So you can solve for a 5 right there in row 7, column 3. Simon misses this, and he doesn't get back to it for quite a while. And I want to tell you about one more thing before we get back to the solve. I want to take a moment to tell you about my new Buy Me a Coffee page. Help support this channel. You buy me a coffee, it's about $5. Go to the link in the description below, and it can help me create more resources for this channel. I'm looking in the future to consider adding more puzzles, more videos. I might even do a subscription-based service special to just Smart Hobby patrons to the Buy Me a Coffee list. And if I can get $25 donations, I will start offering you personalized solving videos. I'll make a video for you. You give me a puzzle, and I'll make it for you. Thank you. I really appreciate all of you or your support over this time in my first year, and I want to continue offering that support and give you more resources. So please consider buying me a coffee. Now let's get back to the puzzle. Okay, so like I said, he didn't see that 5. He comes down column 3 and notices that there's only a 1 and an 8 in row 2, column 3, and a 1 and a 4 in row 5, column 3. And this is good because when you're doing buy value sells, then you'll start seeing some more advanced strategies. And this is common for Simon. He kind of leaves the Snyder notation, starts doing these. And at this point, Simon starts looking at the perimeter. And you'll notice that 6, row 1, row 9, column 1, and column 9, the same 6 digits appear. 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. And so what's missing is a 1, 4, and 7. And so Simon says, my gut instinct is that there's something about the 1s, 4s, and 7s we need to appreciate in this puzzle. So he starts filling out the 1s, 4s, and 7s all around the perimeter, and I'll put that in now. Shye has admitted that she likes to put in clues in the perimeter. She likes to kind of make some of the advanced strategies there. And yeah, you can't help but notice you got these naked triple going on with the 1s, 4s, and 7s. There's only one of each given in there. So that's got to be the key to solving the puzzle. That's what Simon's saying here. And at this point, Simon highlights those cells on the outside. So I'll do that too. He puts them all in pink. And at this point, Simon looks here in block 5 and he makes a 1-7 out of row 5, column 6. And then he puts a 4-7 in row 4, column 5. And what's interesting here, you may notice there's an actual XY wing right here for 4-7, 1-7, 1-4. Here's your pivot, the 1-7, and here's your pinchers, 1-4 and 4-7. It doesn't lead to any more solving in this particular puzzle. Basically, you could eliminate a 4 from this spot right there. I just thought I'd throw that out. Simon doesn't pick up on that. After the 4-7, he then marks some 2s in the block 5, and then he puts in row 6, column 4, 1, 2, 4, 7. And now he looks at this spot and compares it to all these other spots. And I'm going to highlight that cell. And he's looking at it, he's like, this is some kind of weird floating swordfish. Now he's wondering, what if this is not a 2? Does it have to be a 2? What if it's not a 2? What would be the implications here? And yes, this is what Shye was looking for when she made the puzzle. She wanted and thought Simon would see these 1s, 4s, and 7s. In fact, Mark said, don't even put it into a solver, just go for it. Hopefully you'll see the logic. So what's the problem with there being something besides a 2 right here? Now, Simon explains it really well in the video, but basically what happens, if this is not a 2, now you have a 1, 4, 7, you're going to have a naked triple across here, a naked triple across here, a naked triple across here, and so that creates a swordfish, right? And the 1, 4s, and 7s can't be in any more spots in rows 1, 6, and 9. And so then he looks over at this spot right here, and he goes, well, if this is not a 2, if this is a 1, 4, 7, could any of these values exist? And here's the issue. If you put a 1 right here, this can't be a 1 anymore. And you'll notice the 1s are restricted to these 2 spots here, these 3 spots, and not even in that spot, and these 2 spots here. Actually, they're restricted to these 2 spots here, here, and here. Well, these are 3 rows, and there's only 2 1s you can put. So you end up breaking the puzzle because it can't be here anymore, right? The 1's right there. So that's a problem with putting a 1 there. If you put a 4 there, it's the same issue. You put a 4 right here. This can't be a 4. The 4s are going to be restricted. None of these can be a 4. The 4s are going to be restricted to these 2 columns and these 3 rows. You need 3 4s. Can't do it. And then the same thing with the 7. So basically, you break the puzzle. And so Simon figures out this has to be a 2. And then he's like, it's a floating swordfish. It's some kind of weird mythical swordfish. He's not really sure. But then he solves that for a 2. Let's do the what if. I'm going to go back and say, all right, is there another way to look at this beyond the way Simon did? And I'll show you that right now. So this is the what if moment. Like, what if Simon didn't find this? Is there some other way to get through this puzzle? The answer is yes. It's not very elegant, and it actually takes quite a long time. I'll show you a couple of things that you can look at right off the bat. So I'm showing all the candidates here to kind of give you an idea. And you'll notice is that the 1s, 4s, 7s are pretty messy. They're pretty messy. What you can do is, you remember this was a 2, 9, so you can get rid of the 1, 4, 5 right there, and that makes that as a naked pair. You can, remember we had these 5s as a pointing pair here, so you could solve that 5 still. You look up here, you'll see right here, this is a 1, 3, 7 naked triple. So you can get rid of the 1 and 7 1 and 7. You could also see it maybe as a 2-8 naked pair. And if you look over here, you might have noticed another naked triple 4, 6, 7. So 4, 6, 7, you can get rid of the 4 and 7. This is also a 5, 9 hidden pair right there. I meant to say 2, 8 hidden pair. So hidden pair. And doing that, it starts to eliminate some of the 1s and the 4s, and then you end up doing what's called turbot fish. And a turbot fish is basically, like a simplest form of like an X chain. And so I'll show you, one of those right here. So like, take this one for example. This one has a strong link to this one, right? Strong, weak to this one, and strong to this one right here. And so what that means is either this is a 1, if it's not a 1, that's a 1, so you can eliminate a 1 from right there. And so that's a turbot fish, also known as an X chain in the smallest form. I did a tutorial on X chains. I'll put a link right here. You can check that out if you want to see more about X chains. But you have to do several of these to keep eliminating 1s, 4s, and 7s throughout the grid. And finally you get to where you can do a W wing and then a finned jellyfish. It's kind of an ugly looking finned jellyfish that eliminates some cells right there. And there's an XY wing where you get to the point where you can solve this for a 4, and then you can solve this for a 1. And then the puzzle will start to collapse. I'm not going to go through all those, but you can try that method if you'd like. I just wanted to show you what would happen if you didn't go the way Shye intended. And this is something Shye is known for. She really is trying to make it harder for people to go around the intended logic in order to solve the puzzle. I like her method way better. It looks a lot cooler, and it's really cool when you figure out what's going on there. So let's go back to the main solve. So Simon solves this for a 2. And what you'll see now is that the puzzle really starts to fall apart. He didn't really get much going on there, but once you get the 2 in here, the solving goes much smoother. And in case you're wondering, the name Patto Patto is Japanese. It's an onomatopoeia type word. It means suddenly or in a flash. So that's what's intended. That once the trick's found, the puzzle should complete pretty rapidly. And from here, after solving this 2, you remember it now disambiguates. I love that term. That's what Simon and Mark say. The 2, 9 here in block 4, so he's able to solve the 2 in row 4, column 3, and the 6 in row 6, column 3. Excuse me, the 9 in row 6, column 3. And then looks across and notice there's only 2 9s here in rows 5 and 6. Only 1 place left for a 9 in block 6. So he solves 9 in row 4, column 7. Then he's able to solve the 5 in row 6, column 8. And then notices the 1 comes across row 4. So there's only 1 place left for a 1 here in block 5. Solves that 1 in row 5, column 6. And is able to solve, sees the 4 coming down here. So he's able to solve the 4 in row 4, column 5. And then the 7 in row 4, column 6. Looks over, and you see a full house going on right there. And so he's able to solve a 5 in row 4, column 2. And then think too, as you're doing this solve part, you always want to look for the most restrictions. So if you can see a full house, solve that right away, and that'll help the rest of your solving. I cover this a lot in all the different ways to solve a single cell Sudoku. I'll put the link right here. You can check that out, because most of what Simon's doing right now is really more of the basic strategies as he's moving through here. After that 5, he marks the 1, 4, 7 to complete the naked triple in column 4. Then starts looking at the 2s and notices I can solve for a 2 because he removed one of the 2s up here, so there's only 1 2 left in block 2. So he solves the 2 in row 3, column 6, then the 2 in row 2, column 7. You notice it's kind of removing those Snyder notation marks that he made. Then looks and sees the great restriction. There's only 2 spots left here in column 6, and there's an 8 right there, so the 8 can only be in 1 spot. So he solves that 8 first, and then the 9 and completes column 6. After solving this 9 here, 9, 9, and a 9 coming down column 7, he's able to solve for a 9 in row 7, column 8. Focuses now over here in block 7 and sees there's only a 1, 4 right here. Since this is a naked pair, this cell has to be what's missing, which is the 5. And now he finally solves that 5 that he could have solved much earlier in the puzzle. But there it is, 5 in row 7, column 3. After that, looks across, is able to solve for a 4 right here in row 8, column 8. And that's a naked single that he found. You see there's a 1, a 2, a 3, there's a 5, a 6, a 7, and an 8. So that ends up being a 4 because it was a naked single. After the 4 in row 8, column 8, then he's able to solve that 1 in row 8, column 2, and then of course the 4 in row 9, column 1. You see another full house coming across row 8, so he finishes that off by getting that 5 in row 8, column 7. Marks up the rest of block 9, so 1, 7, he can't solve it just yet. But then cuts across and sees, oh, where can a 4 be? Well, a 4 can't be here, it can't be there. Only one place left for a 4. So he's able to solve that 4 in row 7, column 4. Works his way up here, sees there's a naked pair now of the 1s and 7s. And so the only digit remaining is an 8. So he's able to solve that 8. Now it affects this mark that he had here in block 1. So now after the 8 in row 2, column 4 is an 8 in row 3, column 3. And then a 1 in row 2, column 3. And then a 4 in row 5. See, he's coming down. There's only one spot left. That's solved that 4. In row 5, column 3. And then you see there's a 1 and a 7. So you can solve that for the 1 and that for the 7. Knocks those out. And now once you start solving inside the pink, you're going to be able to go all the way around and pretty much get the rest of the pink. So after the 1 in row 6, column 1, and the 7 in row 6, column 2, he solves for 7 in row 1, column 1, and then the 1 in row 1, column 4, and of course the 4 in row 1, column 7. Looks over here and the rest of the pink, and he had it pink the whole time. Row 6, column 9, the 7 in row 9, column 4, and then the 1 in row 9, column 9, and the 7 in row 3, column 9. And at this point, with 11 cells remaining, Simon Anthony cracks the puzzle. It's all naked and hidden singles from here. See if you have the same solve path as Simon. So the next thing he solves is he saw this 4 coming across row 2, and so he's able to solve for a 4 in row 3, column 2, then for a 6 in row 2, column 2. Came across row 2, notice the 7 here in row 3, so a 7 in row 2, column 5, and then a 3 in row 3, column 5, a 3 in row 2, column 8. Saw the 1 coming up, column 8, so there's only one place left for a 1 here in block 3, so 1 in row 3, column 7, and then a 6 in row 3, column 8, 6 in row 5, column 7, 7, row 7, column 7, a 1 in row 7, column 5, and finished out with the 7 in row 5, column 8. Check out these other videos to see more solving like this. Thank you, Shye, for letting me feature your puzzles on my channel. If you like this content, show your support by buying me a coffee at the link below. Thank you so much for watching.